Welcome in, Broncos fans, to another edition of the Denver Broncos Roundup. I'm your host, Jody the Judge Moncrief, and I'm joined by Patrick the Coffee Man Wilsey. How you been, Patrick?
Aloha. Things are good. It's been nice out here lately, you know. Breezes are kicking up, so it's not too bad. I mean, it's warm, but the breezes are kicking, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's been hot and dry here, so we should cool off a little bit, but it is what it is.
That means football's close, right?
Football's close. Friday.
Yeah, that's right.
Friday, we get to see the 2026 edition in their first action. You excited for that?
Of course. I think I like preseason games for the most part. I like just watching people. You're probably never going to see a lot of them again, but it's still fun to get out and see everybody same kind of level, you know, going after it. So.
Right. Yep. And we have a banger of a show. Going to break down the last 8 days of camp, some studs, some duds, break down some injuries, some other little things. Corey chimes in. Good evening, fellas. He says, I'm a Seahawks fan, excited for our matchup during the season and test ourselves. And Rodney also chimes in. Good evening, gents and Broncos fans. And yeah, Corey, that's a game that probably should have happened last year in the Super Bowl. If it wasn't for Knicks going down, I think we would have seen it. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
So before we hit our topics, I don't know if anyone's seen the intro that was put out earlier. We have a special guest, and let's bring him on right now. You know him. He is the OG, Keith Brugman. Welcome back. Welcome back, buddy.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much, man. It's good to be back. It's I'm gonna rearrange here, man. I feel like I should be down here. Jody's gonna be over here. We're just gonna keep it like it was, you know. So no, it's fantastic to be back, gentlemen. It's been too long. I've been missing Broncos football too much. I've been missing talking Broncos football so much. There's been so much that's been going on. We got 8 days of training camp already in the books. We had storylines that we had leading up to that. We have storylines now. We have injuries. We have rumors. We have things that have gotten us excited. And, man, I just can't wait to talk some Broncos football. I know you guys were talking a little bit earlier. You said, hey, you know, it's hot out. It's cooler out. You know what? It's hot. It's smoky. I don't want to talk about weather, gentlemen. I want to talk some Broncos football. There's a lot we got to get to, man. I can't wait to get to it all, man. Man, I can't. It's exciting. It's exciting. So got to get to the comments if you don't mind, because we have our sponsor and a good friend of ours of the show. It's coming in, Miss Pearl, saying hello, guys, and giving me a welcome back. And
hello,
it's
Pearl.
Good to see Pearl, right?
Always
good to see Pearl. Before I get into too many more comments, I just jumped right in. I told you said it'd be more like riding a bike, Jody. I think I'm gonna need some training wheels here for a minute. So, gentlemen, thank you so much, man. You guys have been rocking it and covering the Broncos in my absence, man. I really appreciate it. Also, really excited to do a show with you two gentlemen, man. You guys have been locked in, and I think we got some amazing topics. But Patrick, good to see you, my friend, and welcome. Thank you for joining in. And we were talking pre-show. Check out that background that Patrick's starting to put together, man. Something else.
Looks good.
Yeah, got my only one Miller jersey. I had to save the others. There's 4 or 5 more over there. So
there you go. A little bit of a Von Miller fan. All right, man. We'll probably maybe we'll end up talking more about that later. You know, who knows? Later episodes. Jody, man, again, man, appreciate it, man. Taking over some hosting duties in my absence, even rolling in and introing the whole show, man. I appreciate you, man. Can't wait to talk some football with you, man. Always good talking football with you.
Yeah, excited.
Excited. Hello, Pearl. Rodney's in the house as well. Michael Ronquillo. I heard there could be a trade for another quarterback. We'll get into some who's doing well, who's sitting in the middle, needs to show and prove a little bit, and who needs to maybe really step up their game, maybe sitting at the bottom of the list and sitting on the low end of the totem pole, as they would say, here in a little bit, man. I'll throw some graphics around if I can. I'm, again, trying to learn to ride that bike again, buddy, but we'll go ahead and we'll get this, I think, set up pretty easily. Everyone's like, where did they all go? We're going small here just because I want to get our graphics going, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're not watching along at home and just listening, there it is. Camp news and rumors. We got some injuries. We got our camp battles. But, first and foremost, man, what would you say if you had to put a headline topic on this? I'm going to start off with Patrick first on this one. Headline topic. Through 8 days of camp, the headline is on the front of the newspaper. We're only talking maybe 3 to 8 words that you can fit in here, man. What would be the headline for Broncos training camp? Everybody, I'd love to hear you chime in as well.
2026, the raid begins.
The raid begins. All right, man. Leaves me with a lot of questions, but it sounds intriguing. Elaborating on what is the raid in your opinion?
Super Bowl win, another Lombardi trophy in the case, right?
Love it. The journey really is starting. The raid, the journey. We're going all the way. I love it. Jody, what would you say for training camp through 8 days? What would be your headline so far?
The ankle is healthy, and the O has won multiple days in camp.
Ankle's looking good. Ankle is looking good. Man, I can't wait to. We'll get into some these grading here in a little bit, but my goodness, the ankle has looked fantastic thus far. Leaves me still with some concerns. We'll get into some of the concerns here as well, as you can see as we go through here, injuries and battles and news and rumors. But the ankles look good. The defense has won. The defense have absolutely won at times during this training camp. For me, both sides look Super Bowl capable. That's what I would say. I think there's opportunity. I think that we have the team put together that we'll have to get through some pieces and some parts. We'll have to get through some injuries we're already talking about, and we'll talk about more. But what we have as a whole, there is a whole lot to be excited about, man. There's a ton to be excited about, man. So my headline is, again, both sides Super Bowl competitive. That would be my headline. It's interesting though, man. It's interesting. I want to get back to what Michael was talking about. And by the way, he says he ran in here with 100 Facebook stars. The Ronk, the one and only Ronk. Appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for always supporting this show, man. It means so dang much, man. You do not realize man, how much we appreciate you and how much your support means. He was talking about, the idea, the probability of bringing in another quarterback. Let's put it out there. Some of the camp news has been the fact that Jarrett Stidham, Sam Ellinger, that is a true battle. Jody, I'll go to you first on this one. It looks like a true battle. Does it need even more competition? Do you think the Denver Broncos add another arm to this training camp?
Maybe not to training camp, but I think if they do decide to move on from Stidham, they will look for that third quarterback that they can kind of keep on the practice squad stashed away, kind of like they did with Zach Wilson. And I think this is all about really next year. I mean, they're trying to stash cash away for next year. I mean, people are on different sides of the fence. Is Nick's going to get 60? Is he going to get more? Is he going to get a little bit less? But, I mean, they're planning now. I mean, the Powers contract, this. So I think if they move on from Stidham, I think they will try to bring in another veteran guy as that emergency third quarterback.
Oh, this is why I love talking football with you and the posse. Thank you for coming in here and supporting the show and coming in with your comments and your thoughts on this. I'll go to you here in just a second, Patrick. But way to bring up the long road. The long view. That's what I'm looking for. The long view when it comes to Jarrett Stidham and Bo Nix, because honestly, we'll have to look at paying Bo Nix here very shortly. And when it comes to Jarrett Stidham being one of the higher paid backups, and what we unfortunately got out of him in his last performance, it has been there. Unfortunately, you don't have very many opportunities, and when your opportunities look like that, you get people thinking. Patrick, man, what are your thoughts about quarterback competition? Does it need to happen now? Do you think, like Jody, it's something that we add to as the training camp rounds out and we get into more preseason and regular season?
Yeah, definitely. I think I don't see him doing it. It's too early. There's everybody that's going to be viable is pretty much on a team somewhere fighting for a spot, trying to go for a spot. Maybe after cut day, if they do, if they do move on from Stidham, I could see after cut day, somebody's on there, somebody thinks they can stash somebody on the practice squad and we can snake somebody instead of us getting snaked for once. I mean, I think that's more where I would lean, but yeah, they're definitely building up for something next year, whether it's Nix's contract or just having some money on the side for other things, some other weaknesses that may pop up.
Yeah, and we've already seen guys like Pat Surtain. He got a bump in pay this year. We've seen some guys move some money around, man. But yeah, that's certainly a possibility. I just think it's the long-term view. We kind of, as much as I rallied behind Stidham, wanted him to do well when it came to the AFC Championship game, had some belief that we could put a game plan together that would work. What he was able to put on the field, unfortunately, like I said, you don't get very many opportunities, and what he put on the field wasn't something that you necessarily want to hold on to and say, you know what, let's roll that out there next AFC Championship if we need to. No, I don't think anybody would feel confident in that. I think a lot of people would be saying, give Sam Ellinger a chance instead, if that's the scenario we're in, if we have an absolute repeat performance. So, the competition is real. Stidham, by all accounts, has not been tearing it up. Sam Ellinger likes this offense, has been performing in this offense. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see exactly where he ends up. We can extend next offseason. I believe. Absolutely. You can wait till the last minute. Heck, you could, if you really wanted to, you could go ahead and franchise tag Bo Nix. That's an opportunity as well. My thought process is, and I don't know about you, is Broncos country in this position? I'll go to Patrick on this right now. Are we ready to lock down Bo Nix, big time contract, 5 years, top of the market today? Like if it came out tomorrow, Bo Nix, locked down, 5 years, big old contract, top 8 in the league, let's just say.
Not tomorrow. I think tomorrow? They got too many other things. I think they got too many other irons in the fire to, when they tried to get him weapons, they tried to keep that defense strong.
I get that, but we know that he's getting a contract at some point, right?
Yeah, most definitely. He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. So at what point, what has to happen? Put the dollars and cents aside, or things that we want to put around. And we know that basically in the next year, we're either going to have to put a salary cap on him or a franchise tag on him, or we're going to have to sign him up for a contract, and he's going to be probably getting a long-term big contract. At what point, starting tomorrow morning until the end of the season and beyond, do you think that Bo Nix should get that contract? Is it okay tomorrow morning?
I don't think tomorrow morning. Honestly, I think after the end of the season, let him prove himself. Let him show that chip on his shoulder. Everybody talking smack. Everybody not saying he's worth it. He shouldn't get the money. And let's say he wins a Super Bowl. Comes out, wins a Super Bowl. He's got the MVP. How do you say no to not loading that contract up? So I think he's gonna put it out there. He's gonna be the one. Pay me or give me a reason why. I don't think he's going to give him a reason not to pay him.
I agree. So that begs the question as far as when. Jody, I'm going to ask you, man. You wake up tomorrow, and they say that Bo Nix got a big old 5-year contract. Top 8 of the market. You okay with that, or do you think Broncos country would be okay with that? When does he deserve that contract?
Me personally, I'm fine with that. I've seen enough what he's done in his couple years. Will all Broncos country? Probably not. They probably want to see more. I'm more anxious to see, does Bo Nix do a contract like Pat Surtain did and play out his full rookie contract, or when Bo signs his contract, will he want it to kick in right away? Does he give the Broncos that extra 2 years of some cap relief? Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about. So I'm anxious to see what he does there. And I guess my only hesitation, and it's almost none now, is the ankle. If something was to happen during the season with the ankle, that's like 4 surgeries since college, and now it's probably hereditary. And do you want to pay that kind of money for a quarterback with that kind of injury? So,
yeah, it'll be an interesting question when they get that contract done. I just, it hit me. I know that's way off topic. We're going to get right back into training camp news now. We've had 8 days in the books, man. We got Mr. Patrick Wilsey here. We have the Judge, Jody Moncrief. I'm back from a long vacation, but ready to talk some Denver Broncos football, man. Let's talk about the unfortunate thing. The unfortunate thing that is of recent news. I don't think anybody's talked about it on this show as of yet. Was Matt Henningsen going down? Matt Henningsen ends up tearing his other ACL and Achilles. Thank you. I always get those mixed up, man. I appreciate you. After working all year basically to come back from one, he ends up tearing the other. Gut-wrenching for him. He was working his way into this rotation. It's a strong rotation. We're going to talk about the strengths of this team a little bit more, man. But I don't know. Just for me, I didn't have high expectations for Matt Henningsen. I'll be 100% honest. But at the same time, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see a guy go down, and it's another long journey back to playing football for Matt Henningsen. It's kind of sad. Anything you want to add, Patrick? Hit Jody as well.
I didn't even remember he was on on the squad. So, I mean, at least you're nicer and didn't have high hopes. I didn't even remember he was there until we were talking about, defensive making the 53 the other, a couple weeks ago now. I didn't even, so, I mean, I had no hopes. So at least you had small hopes, or at least thoughts. I didn't even have that, but I don't want to see somebody leave for that reason. If you're just not good enough because the rest of the team is better, I think that sits better with anybody, even the player. So yeah, he didn't even get a chance to prove he wasn't there or strong enough, or whatever the reasons were, and that's the part that hurts.
Yeah, limited opportunities in the time that he did have on the field. Jody, anything that you want to do? And then I got to hit the posse. They've been blowing up the comments. I want to get to some of them because we're always about the fans first here, man.
Just a bummer for him personally, because it sounded like he was having a really good off season and camp, and was in the mix for that. If Denver was going to keep 7 D linemen, he was in the mix. So
yeah,
I mean, it's a bummer for him, and I mean, 2 years away now, and those are hard injuries to come back from. At what point does he? As someone mentioned in the chat, does he consider retirement, or what does he do? I mean, it kind of reminds me of what was Jake Butts and those type of guys that we drafted that just couldn't stay healthy and just had those massive injuries that put him out for seasons at a time. So
just could never get past it. Just could never get past those injuries, and sometimes they haunt some players. Despite their talent, despite how good they should have been. Let's hope for the best for Matt Henningsen. I think at this point, he is going to have to really work hard and show something if he's going to be on this roster come this time next year. He just was a guy that was there. Since we're talking about news, let's hit some other news and some other injuries that we saw along the way, because they started to pile up a little bit, gentlemen. I don't know which one you want to hit first. Patrick, which one is more concerning to you at this point? Jalen Waddle or Marvin Mims?
I think Mims is a little more concerning because, I mean, Waddle knows, he's been there. I mean, they're both veterans, but I mean, Waddle knows kind of, I'd rather he's hurt now and he's missing a practice or two than I'm good, trying to prove himself, and he misses games down the line because something's, a hitch in his get up there. But Mims, he's returning. He's 3 different positions on that field. So at any point during a game, that's a big piece to lose out on. So I mean that makes me a little nervous.
Awesome. I understand exactly where you're coming from, my friend. It seems like Jalen Waddle has been coming back fairly well from reports. He's back out there. He's without a brace. He's kind of jogging around. Jody, before I get to you, I said I was going to get to the comments, and then I lied, and I skipped right past them. So Graham has been in the comments, and Graham's always been a fantastic supporter of our show. Graham, good to see you. He says, we can extend next offseason, I believe. So he's right on track with you, Patrick. We could wait it out. Broncos have always been one to pay a little bit early. I don't know if that's going to be the case here with Bo Nix and such a high value contract. Last time they had to think about paying a quarterback quite a bit. Let's just say it didn't go the way they wanted. Graham says he's getting market value, right? He will be. I think he'll be in. I don't think that you can that you can get around paying him. Vic comes in and just reminding us that he, like a lot of Broncos country, I believe, think, and that's why we're talking about quarterback competition as part of this training camp, that Stiddy is overpaid. There's that. Pearl saying, Graham, I feel the extension will come sooner rather than later when it comes to Bo Nix. So, the thing is, I just want to say this one more thing about Bo Nix. We'll get to some of the injuries again, going back to Marvin Mims and Jalen Waddle, and get Jody's thoughts, and I want to get everyone else's thoughts as well. Bo Nix coming back in here, and not being the one that we're talking about that's struggling with an injury, I think is one of the best headlines that we could possibly have. Now, as we get into this, we're starting to talk wide receiver, which one's more concerning. It does put concern in my mind about how much Bo Nix is going to have to shoulder if this doesn't turn its way around. But Jody, back to you and back to the posse as well. More concerning, Jalen Waddle, the guy that came over, really already had a connection with Bo Nix already this offseason in the limited time we saw him. You know, the key piece that we brought over to the Denver Broncos, or Marvin Mims, as we just got done Patrick's talking about. He's more than just a wide receiver on this team, and he's a guy that, you know, even Jalen Waddle was talking about being a guy that's very important and can blow the top off, and was excited to see on the field alongside of himself being Jalen Waddle. Which one's more concerning? And Posse, I'll get to your comments as well.
I'm not that concerned with Waddle. He was at camp today. He was running. He's out of the sleeve. So there's no point in rushing him back. I'm not worried there. I think more, and I'm not really that concerned about Mims until we find out more what the injury is. It just sounded like he limped off today. So we haven't really heard what the extent is. But like Patrick said, he does play two key positions for us. And he's in that mix for wide receiver 3. So if it is an extended injury, I would say Mims. But right now, I'm not really worried about either one. To be honest, I'm more worried about Wattenberg because he's missed a decent amount of time and still not back.
Luke Wattenberg, another injury that we could end up talking about in this Bronco news and training camp of 8 days. Since I've been missing for all of them, we're trying to do a little bit of recap, and we'll get into some ranking and concerns here in just a second. We did want to say hello to my good friend and supporter of the show, and pretty cool looking profile pic. If I remember that was his kid that drew that picture for him years ago. A nice little Bronco as far as the icon is concerned. Sup, fellas, and go Broncos, says Jeremy Dressler coming in over on Facebook. Man, appreciate you chiming in and being a part of the show, and good to see you, my friend. We'll have to catch up for sure, and some friends going back and forth in there as well. I wish I could throw away my concerns as much as you, Jody, and I just look at everything that this offseason was kind of curtailed to, getting the weapons and putting the offense around Bo Nix and getting another running back that we'll end up talking about here in a minute as well. And, Davis Webb. And honestly, when Patrick came in and he said, his headline was watch out for the raid, I thought maybe he was talking the air raid that Davis Webb is going to bring in the fast-paced offense that we've seen really ripping through training camp so far in the 8 days that we've heard reports come out. So, for me, when all of a sudden Marvin Mims pulls up when he's on a go route and Jalen Waddle is out and then he's kind of limpy and then he's kind of jogging today, but it's not like he's looking 100%. He's still getting himself up to speed, and no one wants to see him, any of these guys rush anything. We want to take our time, but I want to hit the ground running. And I think we have all the horses when it comes to the Denver Broncos offense to do that, because we'll get into it, but the tight ends, there's been something to talk about there. The running game, I think there's been something to talk about there. And the wide receivers, even with the injuries that we've been talking about, there's still been plenty to talk about there. Got a whole defensive side as well, man. But I'm excited. I don't want to be handcuffed. I don't want these injuries to mount up, and I don't want it to handcuff it or put so much on Bo Nix's shoulders. I mean, he had to do it all last year. It was like Bo Nix or it wasn't going to get done. Jody, I told you I'd let you talk about Luke Wattenberg. I'm going to let you do that. and hit a sponsor break because we have an amazing sponsor. And then we're going to get back to talking some football, and Patrick's going to talk a whole lot more.
He's probably the one that I'm probably most worried about, just because that rapport with Bo Nix, and this is going on 4 years of this O-line being together. It's the same 5 starters for the last 4 years, so that's one, and he's been out a while, but he's been on the side field moving, so I don't think it's. I would say he'll be ready week 1, but I would like these little nagging injuries to kind of stop.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten one big one. That's enough. Let's put the nagging ones to the side. Let's get healthy. Let's get out there. You know, let's play some football and let's hit the ground running. I'm excited.
Are you both of you in the chat? Are you surprised with all the nagging injuries? They gave Sutton 3 vet days off, and that Nick's coming off this injury hasn't missed a single day, and he just went through. What did he do? 6 or 7 days in a row.
Patrick, why don't you go first, man? I want to chime in second, my friend.
That surprises me a little bit. I don't know if I'm concerned about it, but I mean, it surprises me that they would leave him off to the side, call it a vet day, and not have him be the one to prove out there and to run it, show everybody the route, show what, the way to be a Bronco, that I believe Sutton has done so far. But I mean, it's a little concerning, the small injuries, but like I said, at least have them now. This is the first time they've run full speed, since the end of last year. And Waddle, did Waddle finish the year, or was he out with Miami?
I think he finished the year.
So I mean, so this is the first time any of them 6 months they've run full speed. They put the pads on like we were talking about last week that we were wanting to see, and have them go full tilt. So I mean, I'm just surprised. I'm not worried, not yet.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree, man. For the most part, I'd have to agree. I'm not surprised, not worried, but I think it's gonna. The time will let it play out. I think we're gonna be all right in the end. Let's just put it that way. I'll put it that way, man. I got to get to the sponsor break, man, and I appreciate Jody bringing that up, man. But our sponsor, Morgan Trinkets, has been doing Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, estate gold at wholesale prices for longer than most of y'all been alive. Let's just put it that way. A Broncos fan for longer than even they've been doing Southwest Jewelry, Pottery, and estate gold at wholesale prices as well. So put that cap in your air feather in your cap. Pearl has been rocking it. She was just out there at Cheyenne Days, had an amazing show, had some amazing deals, and she said people were walking away just giddy, happy at the deals that she had going on up there at Cheyenne Frontier Days. Amazing time. But hey, her favorite show is coming up. It's the Greeley Dog Show. It's August 14th through the 17th. If you want to go out there and support her financially, she's going to be happy. We would be happy. She's got some amazing pieces. I'm sure the sales will be rocking, just like they were at Cheyenne Frontier Days. She'll keep that rolling and, keep people happy. But she's also, if you don't know, she actually raises show dogs. And one of her dogs is actually going to be in the Greeley show. So if nothing else, stop on by Morgan Trinkets out there at Greeley, the Greeley Dog Show, August 14th through the 17th. Say hello to Pearl and say, go out there and win your dog championship and root her on. And if nothing else, I think that would be fantastic. Everybody show up, say hello, and go out there and win. So, again, Morgan Trinkets, Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, estate gold at wholesale prices. Go support Morgan Trinkets. We would appreciate it. Gentlemen, I'll go ahead and I'm going to put this graphic up. We'll hit the second half of this show. Jody, if you really want, man, pose that last question that you had for me again, because I'll be honest, I lost my complete train of thought and I gave probably a crappy answer. So what was the question again?
I don't even remember what I
Oh no, we're both we're both in that boat. It's okay, my friend. It's okay. I felt bad. I lost my train of thought, and I felt like I just went in there and said, "Yeah, I agree."
Oh, I remember. Are you surprised with all the nagging injuries and giving Sutton, 3 vet days in a row and stuff?
Yeah,
that Nick's coming off this ankle injury that he has not missed
through it.
That they haven't just set him out. I mean, what was the plan?
Yeah, I'll go 2 parts on this. First, Sean Payton, he was talking about it. He's like, what we do now compared to what we did in 2016 is surprising, and don't even let me, talk about what we used to do in 2006. It's a whole different situation. The one thing that really popped in my mind is when do you start qualifying for vet days? And do you want them? Are you one of those guys that it's going to be like fighting for like every single snap? I mean, Peyton Manning was one of those guys that he's like wouldn't let anybody take a snap but him, so he earned that, but he also kept that. It was like vet day. I don't think so. I'm out there practicing type of thing. So I get it. I understand it. He came back, and he came back really strong. Cortland Sutton had a great practice, but I don't know. I'm not concerned. I'm not worried. I'm not surprised that the Bo Nix hasn't gotten rest. I think there is a lot they want to make sure he's ready and prepared for, especially with a new offensive coordinator, especially with him coming off an injury. So you got to take all that into account. But I also don't think it's, 1997 training camp 2-a-days, guys hurling in the bushes off to the side. It just doesn't happen anymore either. So, it's not as rigorous, I guess, is the best way to put it, man.
Will he play Friday?
Will he play Friday? I don't think Bo Nix plays Friday. Do you think he plays Friday? And Patrick, I get your thoughts, but I don't think he plays.
No, I don't think he does.
I don't think so. Yeah. Sorry, Joey.
It's all right. We got all the answers in. We just like right over the top of each other. No. It's like one side of Congress. No, I won't get political.
Maybe the second game. Maybe the second game. A series or two in the second game. The first quarter, whatever, something like that. But not this game.
Yeah, agreed. But it's going to be further down the road for sure. This was our stock up, hold, or need more information. I'm holding off my my thought process or grading, or I just need more from them or more information or stock down list. One other one that we need to get in here, Nick Jargilo started on the PUP, has not practiced, has not come off that PUP. He was going to be a big piece for last year. We really hoped that he would have been healed, ready, maybe out there participating at this point. He is on our stock down list. Let's start down there on the stock down. Another name that we had on there was Jarrett Stidham. We talked about him a little bit earlier about just, again, his competition, his contract, Bo Nix's contract coming up, his performance in the AFC Championship, and Sam Ehlinger coming on fairly strong. I'll turn to Patrick first on this one, and then I'll go to Jody if he wants to add in anything. Any more thoughts on Jarrett Stidham before we move through some of the rest of these names?
I honestly don't. The way Ehlinger's looked so far in practice and in the camp has been. I mean, they've given him every opportunity to lose the spot, and I don't think he's done that yet. I think he's shown that he deserves to be on a team somewhere. I don't know about number 2 or whatever, but he deserves to be, have a shot out there playing. And Stidham's only job, two jobs, carry the clipboard and start when Nix goes down. And he did not do one of them at all. And he had a lot of time to prepare. It's not like they told him the night before. I mean, he had, the whole season beforehand, and then, they told us that Sunday night after the game, right?
Yeah.
So,
Right after the game.
He had the full everything, that he was full go from Monday morning on. And I mean, yeah, the snow and the whatever, but I wasn't that impressed when they got him, and I thought they overpaid when they got him. But I mean, if he turned out to be, I mean, they had him in New England for a reason. So I figured, okay, maybe, something will come out of that if something happens. But, and we didn't have a lot of wonderful quarterback play at that time, to that point either, for a little while. So, I mean, I honestly it would not break my heart to see him run away or tuck tail and go. So.
Very good. Very good. Sorry, Stiddy. Jody, anything quickly? We don't want to dwell too much on. I think we talked about Jarrett Stidham quite a bit in this, and I want to hit some more comments as well, of course. But thoughts, my friend, if any?
I'll just put it out there. If you're on the side of keeping him, did he earn $8 million in the AFC title game last year? And I think that has a lot of fans and probably some coaches behind the scenes with bad taste in their mouth, because it was pretty fast the last couple of years that Stidham was the number 2. There's no competition there, and now there is. So
yeah,
and you can save like 3.5 or 4.5 million. So whatever side you're on, is he worth $8 million? And did he show you enough in the AFC title game that you can trust him if Knicks goes down in a big game?
Yeah, a lot of questions for Jarrett Stidham, and a lot of experience in the league. I think if they move on from Jarrett Stidham, they do bring in another quarterback. We talked a little bit about it earlier. I think it's just a veteran type of guy, a guy that you would feel maybe has the possibility of being turned to in a clutch situation if Sam Ehlinger wasn't ready. But Jarrett Stidham right now, stock down for sure. Pearl's ready for football, but she's also ready for hockey. And I was thinking about putting him at a poll and maybe look for that in the near future out here on the good old Facebook as well. TW always coming in here, always has an opinion, says Court not being out there is unacceptable in my opinion if he ain't hurt. Needs to go out there and put in the time. Ain't no vet days needed as far as TW is concerned. Pearl's disagreeing. She likes the idea of giving him some rest. I put it up there on the screen earlier, but my good friend Clayton out there busting it this summer, man. He's out there, trimming yards, putting in bushes, trimming trees, doing landscaping like you wouldn't believe. But he's in here also supporting our show, saying, hey, guys, smash that like button and share, guys. Check him out. He's posting every single day. It always feels real inspirational. Love you, Clayton. Thanks for always being a part of the show, my friend. There's some questions in here. Murdoch stock down from TW, and Pearl's also coming in and saying Murdoch stock up today. I did try to put that into consideration because Red Murdoch did probably have one of his better days at camp. Defensive coordinator, Coach Vance Joseph came out and said, he was thinking a little bit too much. He's the guy out there calling the play as well as having to obviously be involved in the play. It's a lot to ask from Mr. Irrelevant. And it finally started clicking today, and he had his best day. Stock up, stock down. Are we on the wrong side or the right side, Jody? I know this is always a consensus, so I don't know where you sit on this. Are you over here with TW and maybe Pearl as well, saying maybe we should be a little bit more stock up? I want to get your thoughts on Red Murdoch, if you don't mind.
I think he's just been kind of in the middle. hasn't been getting a lot of reps. So as he gets more reps, but I will say today he did cause a couple fumbles, so he probably did, like you said, probably had his best camp day so far and stock up definitely for today.
Gets a stock up for definitely for today. I want to get your thoughts on that one as well, Patrick, and then I'll get back to it. Just maybe a couple more names on the stock down before we move along. Got about 15 minutes in this show. We might go a little overtime, but I'd like to try to keep it on track.
Yeah, no, I think everything I've seen, I've had a couple buddies that went out with camp this week that they're going with Jody that, he wasn't getting, but, every third, every fourth kind of rep in there. He wasn't, starting. But like you said, Mr. Irrelevant, I mean, he's going to have the biggest chip on his shoulder. And once the speed of that game, he catches up to the speed of the game at the pro level, I think all the stuff I've seen, he's going to be I think Glenn, a friend of ours there, is, I think he's right. He's going to be a tackling machine.
It'll be interesting, man. Finally starts clicking. It's late in training camp, a little bit time left, but it'll be, these preseason games, always your best opportunity. Always your best opportunity to put something out there. Even Vance Joseph came in and said, it'll be interesting to see him line up against something that'll be unpredictable, because obviously, we know what's coming at us from our own offense and our own defense, especially when it comes to training camp and the way it's a lot of times scheduled and played out. Kenny Kirkpatrick was in here earlier. I brushed right over his comment. Not only has he been a fan of this show, he's hosted this show, he's done everything that you can possibly imagine for this show, and he does the juice, and he has a fantasy football show, and Kenny's amazing. But he comes in here and he says Bo Nix would be a smart bet for MVP. He goes down. Broncos obviously have zero chance, though, at the same time. Like most. And, we'll flip over to Bo Nix and the other side of this page here in just a little bit. But without a franchise quarterback, man, you are sunk in this league. And if you have one and then he goes down, good luck that the replacement is anywhere of the same caliber. It's the reason we're talking about some of these guys. One of the guys on the other side, though, that I know Jody really wanted to talk about was Drew Sanders. He had him on the stock down list. He mentioned it in the back chat. Seems like he maybe had a little bit of passion for why he thought he should be stock down. So I want to get your thoughts on that, and maybe Patrick can chime in on that as well.
I'm mainly stock down because he already has been hurt. So if it wasn't for depth issues at inside linebacker and probably outside linebacker, not knowing what's going to happen with Cooper, I would say he's a solid not going to make this roster. Which is a bummer because he did show flashes kind of early on. But just like Matt Henningsen, he can't stay healthy and stay on the field.
Patrick, before I get to you, by the way, Paul Shatters in here is saying if Ellinger doesn't panic when he splits, he's better than Stiddy. Just getting in on that conversation. So, hey, it's one of those things, man, that you got to get your feet underneath you. Maybe Sam Ellinger is going to be able to do it this training camp and preseason. But getting back to Drew Sanders, any thoughts on him?
Pretty much the same team side as Jody there. I don't think he's, other than splashes, he hasn't, his own body's been his own worst enemy. I mean, he just can't be out there to show us he's worth it or not worth it. Either way, it's hard to have an opinion on it because he hasn't shown to be able to do anything. So
I agree. I agree. I mean, all the potential in the world, it's your best ability is availability, as they say. And that's one of the things that a few players fight and are fighting on this Denver Broncos roster. Hopefully he turns it around. Maybe he can be an addition to this roster at some point. But until he gets out there and he's consistently practicing, I don't think we can have a whole lot of hopes. And unfortunately, it seems like we've been talking about that one too many times. I'm going to get right over to the middle of the list, man. We need to move this thing along. This was the thing that kind of made me really concerned, man. As I started to put this together, and I end up adding a name here, but Cortland Sutton on the whole need more. Marvin Mims on the whole need more. Troy Franklin on the whole need more. Jalen Waddle on the whole need more. Maybe the biggest question mark, Jalen Waddle, since he's, a lot of people have faith that he's coming back and looking good. But that's 5 wide receivers. Patrick, any concern? And are you in agreement with all 5 of these? I'll let you weigh in on that. Like I said, it's try to get some feedback. We try to get this list put together, and want everyone else's feedback as well.
I'm not too concerned with that. I think that's just, a little bit of perspective on, on whatever side, drew this up, whether it was you or, we're all chiming in on it. It's Sutton's, 3 days, he doesn't even get a chance to show you whether he's, there or not there. So I don't think that part's his fault. And like I said, it's the first week of everybody, even after their own defense or whatever. They're the first time full speed in months. You're working out. You're not going full speed. You're just trying to stay in football shape. So, I'm not worried. Now, this after the third preseason game, we're still like this. Okay, I might be a little nail bitey, but right now, no.
All right, man. You guys are just so level-headed, man, and just so calm about this. I'll see if Jody's on the same page. I'll see if the posse's on the same page. 5 wide receivers that we're holding on. We need more. We need to see more. We're waiting for more. Is that concerning that we have a Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, Hakeem Butler is on there, as well as Jalen Waddle? 5 wide receivers for the Denver Broncos. Concerning to you? Not concerning to you? And then I'll hit the posse, get their thoughts as well if they have any.
Not concerning for me. Sutton, like Patrick said, he's had 3 vet rest days. And it sounds like Mims was, stacking days until the last couple days. So I'm not worried. And one wide receiver you didn't mention that's been stacking days every day that I think has solidified himself as the number 3 wide receiver on this team is Pat Bryant. So what those other wide receivers aren't doing or not being able to get on the field, Pat Bryant is more than taking advantage of his opportunities. And we've said it for a while. I think Denver's grooming him to take over for Sutton sooner rather than later, just because you don't want two wide receivers with huge contracts like the Bengals.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Cortland Sutton came back strong. It's the one wide receiver I wasn't sure where to put. Jalen Waddle, he could be a practice or 2 away from flipping over. I think originally, it was Sean Payton who said about Jalen Waddle 4 to 5 days. He thought he'd be back out there. So a couple of big guys back in the mix, and as long as they stay on the healthy side of things, they could jump over to that stock up list pretty quick for me. Rodney Garcia, that's been in the comments talking away as well, good posse member, says, I'm okay with them developing players, but hearing from other sources the Baron is moving to safety, he needs to stay as a boundary corner. And all on that, Pearl says, Baron, safety? I do not think so. Pearl, if it was up to Sean Payton, I think he might just agree with you. He was asked about this, and he says absolutely not. He's a corner. He's nickel. He's dime. We're not looking for him at safety at this point. So if you're believing the words that are crossing Sean Payton's lips, then maybe you're right on the money there. But there's always smoke screens. You never know. There might be future ideas or future thoughts about where he could go. But as of right now, it sounds like Jahdae Barron's going to stay where he's at.
I heard someone ask this question the other day, and I don't know how you feel. If one of the starting safeties did go down and your backups are Devon Key, Miles Scott, J.L. Skinner, are you confident in whoever wins that third safety spot to come in and start, or would you really consider then moving Barron to safety?
I'll do the quick one on this one because I want to get to the top of the list and roll through that one. Patrick, I'm going to leave you out of this answer. I'm not concerned because I think you have to, at that point, when you start talking about a third safety, when you start talking about, you know, your fifth corner, when you start talking about whatever it happens to be, later in the roster, you know, or further down the depth chart, then it just comes down to the coaching staff, you know, and what the coaching staff is going to be able to expect from that player and expect from the other players around in order to fill that need. And our coaching staff is where I feel strong. Now, that being said, I thought that would work out a little bit better with Jarrett Stidham as well, but I feel a little bit better about what you could maybe hide on defense, especially as aggressive as this defense has been, that if you need to hide your safety a little bit more, Vance Joseph could be the guy who could do it. Gentlemen, Rodney Garcia is not missing PJ Locke. Good luck to PJ Locke in Dallas. He almost made this list. little error in the system there. Stock up. There's only one way to start this, gentlemen. I alluded to it before, man. Bo Nix is coming off an injury. I want to take the mic on this one for just a second. Bo Nix is coming off an injury and has been everything you would want, need, expect from your starting quarterback walking into training camp, even if he wasn't coming off an injury. He has been the cornerstone of this offense once again and continues to prove himself as why he's our number one quarterback, and he's most likely going to get paid here in the near future. Big money. I'm concerned that a lot falls on his shoulders. I want the pieces and parts, and we'll get to some of those here in a minute, that did make the top of this list, which is awesome. But man, Bo Nix stepping in this training camp, Jody, you pointed it out, hasn't missed a single session, been out there for every single one of them, and is, man, in the words of the great Terrell Owens, man, that's my quarterback, tear running down my face. Jody, I know you're in agreement. I think Broncos country is all going to be in agreement as well. But Bo Nix, what he's done this training camp, I want to get your thoughts as well on this.
Yeah, I'm super excited how he's came in. If you listen to all the players, they've said he's 100% got this offense and playbook under control. He knows where to put players. Sean Payton has said he looks like he's in the best shape he's been in. And I've said for a while, Bo Nix was going to be motivated after, the highest of high, winning that Buffalo game and then not being able to lead his team at a chance at a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think he's got a lot to prove. And trying to play for this contract, that doesn't hurt too. So he's got a lot of motivating factors. So
I love how you threw that in at the end. And playing for a contract, that might not hurt things either. No, I think, obviously he wants to go out there. He wants to show his best in order to get the dollars. But the nice thing about Bo Nix, Sean Payton's talked about him, his passion for the game from the very beginning has been something that he's absolutely loved. Patrick, Bo Nix out there ripping it up, tearing it up, been putting on some highlight reel type of plays and days at times through 8 days of training camp. Gotta love it, my friend. Anything you want to add?
Honestly, I think the reason they're that he's out there all the whole time, he's not going to see a lot of time in the preseason games. So get him the reps now. Get him the reps when he can, if he fubs it up, it doesn't cost anything other than, somebody caught it on camera and it looks suspicious. I mean, just, let him get it out there. Get it, because pretty soon, I mean, no starter's going to play that third preseason game. At least, I wouldn't think. So we know 1 week he's not in there. He's going to get what I figured maybe the first quarter and the second one. So he's going to have 15 minutes of football time before the season starts. I think get him every rep he can now. Get him out there in practice. And if they were concerned, they'd have pulled him. They'd have sat him. They'd have given him it's kind of like, I guess it's a pre-vet day, right? It wouldn't really be a vet day yet. I mean, where does that come in? Like you said, the time frame for that. But
he gets a rookie day. No.
Yeah.
You don't ever want to get a rookie day, I guess. That'd probably be bad,
he's stacked as a sophomore. No, wait, this would be third year. But either way. But
no worries.
But no, I mean, I don't, no, I'm not. I think, and what I'm hoping is they with the Walmart money that we've all been talking about for years and years now, that maybe they front load the contract. Maybe they incentivize the contract. Maybe they give him $100 million signing bonus and he takes, 25 a year or something to be able to keep bringing people in.
Yeah.
It could go 1,000 different directions. And that's why I don't think they're in a rush to do it yet.
Yeah, the contract will be something that we'll maybe talk about and watch throughout the season. Hopefully it's not the highlight. Let's put it all back on football and for not just us, man. I'm talking about the players and the coaches and the ownership, man. I think we got something special, man. But last thing on Bo Nix, I mentioned how he's come back and been so strong. And I know it's not the same injury, but just let's put it into context. We've seen a couple of videos of Patrick Mahomes, from the first one where he was dropping back and not wanting to put any weight on a leg, to the one where he's pegging his center in the back of the helmet. We could be sitting in so much worse of a situation, and it's been absolutely not a thought, in anyone's minds as Bo Nix has been out there performing. Martin, always with a good eye. He says, now that we're in the stock up, he goes, I don't know how Jahdae Barron makes this list when he hasn't even outplayed Chris Abrams-Drain, at least in my opinion. Martin, with the good eye and always a fantastic posse member, it's one that I had a little bit of concern on which way I should go, because, it's kind of like the Red Murdoch in my type of situation, in my opinion. He's had an okay camp, and then he's kind of came on as of late. Jahdae Barron has been kind of clicking and was talked about recently by the coaches as well. Doing well, liking what they're seeing out there. I could be talked into it a little bit both ways, though. I want to get your thoughts, though. I'll start with Patrick on this. I know we haven't seen a whole lot of footage from camp. Chris Abrams-Drain has been waiting in the wings. Jahdae Barron was a first-round draft pick. What are your thoughts on those guys and Jahdae Barron's ranking on this list?
I just want Jahdae Barron to be ready. I mean, I think he's have him be if you call him a backup or the third, on the depth chart. Oh, oopsie.
I'll be back.
I'm glad that wasn't me this time. Hey, all right. But sorry, Keith. Anyway, but like I said, I just don't think just want him to be ready and not necessarily. I don't want to know what to expect from him. I don't want teams to know what to expect from him. And Drain, that's what he's there for. He's there to push people and to play his way onto the team. So, I mean, to the best man goes the spot, right? So, what about you, Jody? What do you think about that?
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I think he's been doing well for what he's been asked to do. Now, I did hear the same question: if Moss or PS2 go down, who starts? Is it Jahdae Barron or is it Chris Abrams-Drains. I mean, Abrams-Drains came in the last couple of years and played and started. So it makes you wonder.
Whoever did come in, I think that's definitely who they've got their confidence in, because I mean they've seen what Drain can do. If they don't think Barron's got it, you're not going to see him, right?
I still go back to it was a weird draft pick last year, but I mean he's here now, so you got to find a way to get him on the field. You can't have a first round pick only getting 20% of the snaps his first 2 seasons. Yeah. That's
true. Let him play his way out of it. If he's not good enough, let him show it, right?
Right.
Gentlemen, it's not the prettiest, but I'm back, at least temporarily. I'll get the whole temporary situation maybe a little bit more permanent here in the future. Want to just close out maybe last 5 minutes here, get our stock up, man. If we're talking about Bo Nix, I don't think we can not talk about Pat Bryant and what he's been putting on the field. Pat Bryant is funny. I think there was a lot of questions on who is going to be not only the next, but who is going to be the player to step up. We've been waiting for Marvin Mims to be that guy. Troy Franklin's was brought in. Pat Bryant was brought in. And all of a sudden this year, Pat Bryant is taking training camp by storm. Jody, I'll start with you on this one, man. That connection, man. Best connection in training camp between Bo Nix and a wide receiver so far. Would you agree with that? And go ahead and put your spin on what you've seen and heard so far.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's definitely in the driver's seat for this number 3 wide receiver. Start there. He runs incredible routes. He gets separation off the ball. He's not the fastest wide receiver, but he knows how to get separation. He'll go over the middle, great with his hands. We even seen it last year. If you just watch the touchdown catch against Dallas, I mean, put his hands up right at the very last moment so the defender wasn't trying to bat the ball. And he has said multiple times, he said it last year as well, that blocking it, or however he said it, no block, no rock. So, yeah, and we've said it before, and I think I mentioned it earlier, they're grooming him to eventually be a starter on this team. So my only concern, it's really not a concern, the concussions. I mean, he kind of had, 2 and 3 games last year. Hopefully that was just the one was just Bo Nix put him in a bad position and he got blown up. The second one, it sounds like it was very minor and he probably could have played the next week. It was just more of a precautionary thing. So hopefully that's behind him. Someone did ask in the chat, and I wonder what your guys' thoughts are. Should he be one that should be wearing the Guardian cap in games?
Patrick, I'll let you answer that and give your thoughts on Pat Bryant. How's that, my friend?
I mean, honestly, that should be entirely up to him. But I mean, I don't think so. He's showing that. I mean, he's out there. Yeah, he's not getting hit and rocked in a bad spot or anything. In practice, in camp. But I mean, if he can show he's out there and doesn't want to wear it, now he gets another one, I could see them almost mandating it. But I don't think he should have to wear that. I'm really curious and excited to see how he rounds out, because that's all you've heard, all sorts of wonderful things, and it's finally nice to see some of those things and him given a chance to showcase some of these things in this camp so far.
I'll add one thing. I'm not really sure you can mandate it, and I only base that off of if you could mandate it, then why hasn't Tua been mandated to wear it?
Well,
very true. Very true. I just meant more, if they could mandate, or, if they were going to say the only way we're going to let you on the field, kind of thing. I guess maybe they couldn't mandate it, but
I'd really like to know.
I think if you can mandate how many hours you have to actually watch film, you might be able to mandate in a contract to be like, hey, no more Xbox. It's time to do film for a starting quarterback in this league. It'd be interesting if you could also say, if you're going to hit the field for us, you need to wear a Guardian cap. I wouldn't rule it out. It's just whether they came to agreement on the contract. So
right. I'm sure the players need to have an issue.
What I'd like to know is if the players really notices that it's on there, and if it's a nuisance because of weight, if it's enough weight that they notice it.
Supposedly not, but I can't imagine they really like them speaking out about it,
Right.
negatively either. Got to get to one or at least one more big name. Maybe we'll round out with just a couple more after that. But Patrick, Riley Moss, I'll just say this. We talked a little bit about contracts and stuff like that. Riley Moss is going to make it really difficult to decide what to do with Riley Moss if he keeps performing like the way he has in this training camp. He's playing phenomenal, and decisions will have to be made. A lot of people thought maybe Riley Moss would be part of a decision this offseason even. But we are rolling it with Riley Moss into this next season. And rolling with Riley Moss looks pretty good. Your take, Patrick, and then I'll get Jody as well.
I mean, I just want him to prove that, you can't throw away. Maybe somebody takes a chance at Surtain more now because Moss is on the other side. I mean, where do you throw the ball? If you got Moss storming and coming at you, Jaquan's already proven you can't throw at him all that often. Surtain obviously locks everything down. I mean, it's going to make it scary to game plan, especially if he can continue to remotely show up the way he's been doing, just to storm it. And I mean, if they can get the takeaway part down, if he can start taking it away, like they have so far in camp and whatnot, it's gonna be a wonderful thing for us to watch. Scary for everybody else, but wonderful for us.
Cortland Sutton at his best in training camp, going up against Riley Moss at his best in training camp. At one point, almost a jump ball type of situation, it sounds like, where Riley Moss rips the ball away from Cortland Sutton for an interception. Just one of his highlights this training camp, Jody. Riley Moss has been piling them on as we've been through 8 days. Your thoughts on Riley Moss thus far?
Yeah, everything that I praised Pat Bryant for, same for Riley Moss. He came in and knew the pressure was on, that he had a first-round pick behind him, and he is doing the same thing Jaquan McMillan did last year, knowing he had a first-round pick behind him, balling out, like you said. Sounds like every day when you listen to whatever radio show you listen to, Moss with the bat down, Moss making plays. So, I mean, that's great news for Denver, because pick your poison who you want to throw on. So,
we'll have to wrap up this episode. But the one thing that I would say, I've heard plays being made on Patrick Surtain. I've heard certainly plays for deep balls over safeties, for sure. I haven't heard Riley Moss was taken advantage of. Riley Moss got beat. None of that. Riley Moss with an absolutely fantastic camp. Jody, I'm going to go back to you first on this one. I'm going to package up two players as we try to wrap this up. I'm going to package up those running backs. We got J.K. Dobbins. We got Jonah Coleman. Talk about those two guys, their performance. By the way, Michael Ronquillo comes in talking about performance and says Sean Payton was emotional during Drew Brees' introduction into the 2026 Hall of Fame. We were talking right before we went live, Michael, about how we'll have to go back and watch that because we were all getting ready for a show. Didn't get to see that introduction, but definitely going to be on our list. And what a great honor. Sean Payton was talking about, he thinks this is, from what he heard, is the first time a coach has introduced a quarterback into the Hall of Fame. Those guys will always be linked together, even as he's our coach for the Denver Broncos now. But good call out, Michael. Jody, your thoughts on these running backs, though? J.K. Dobbins, Jonah Coleman, both on our stock up list. Talk about them, my friend.
Yeah, I'm excited for what this running back room can do. We talked about it the last show. J.K. Dobbins with the double peaky promise that he's going to stay healthy, and if he stays healthy, he's going to lead the league in rushing. So, we also said it'd be pretty ironic if a hurt pinky is what the injury is to have him miss a game or something.
Oh goodness, no.
But
Ouch.
just like Riley Moss and a handful of these other guys that are motivated because of things last year, I think Dobbins is the same way. He's sick of the can't stay healthy and that kind of chatter, and he would like to put that to rest. And then Sean Payton came out and said Jonah Coleman's been the surprise of camp. So I think whether you have Jonah Coleman running back 2 or 3, it doesn't really matter. If for some reason Dobbins goes down, I think Coleman steps in and is your starter. He's a patient runner. He runs in between the tackles. And then RJ Harvey, he is great out of the backfield catching the ball. And when you need a wide play, he's still got that burst to get outside. He needs to work on running in between the tackles more, but catching it out of the backfield and certain things, he's an elite player there. So I like the 3-headed monster. I don't really see a way after this camp started, McMillan or Beatty make this roster.
Yeah, it's a good position to be in, as Sean Payton even alluded to in his press conference or his after training camp little presser that he does. Obviously there's more than 3, but these guys, these 3 running backs, the position the Denver Broncos are in is completely different than what the position they were in 3 years ago. He's really happy about this running back room. We were really happy about J.K. Dobbins. We're really happy about Jonah Coleman when it comes to our stock up list. Patrick, I want your thoughts on those 2 guys, and then we'll wrap it up with just one more. We'll hit a couple of defensive guys and pair them together.
I'm really looking forward to just the running game being featured like it's been speculated the last couple of years being needed to be featured. I mean, we had Elway, who was an incredible quarterback for years and years, but when did Elway start winning Super Bowls? When Terrell Davis came in, they had a good running back, solid running back to storm it and go. If Dobbins can just be healthy. I mean, I'd love for him to have a 2,000-yard season, but just to be healthy and have a solid season, I think it's going to make it hard for Harvey. That, like Jody said, it's not so much, doesn't seem to make that first decision and cut and run. It's a little too, happy feety at times. But when he's out catching the pass, it's not so bad. The side, out the side, out the outlet, whatever. And Coleman, who wouldn't want? I'd love to be built like a bowling ball and just run. I'm really excited. I really want to see some of this just explode.
Jonah Coleman has been exploding in the training camp, Patrick. He's been turning enough heads that it turned the coaches' heads as well. But so, that's always a good sign. The coach always gets asked about, who's standing out and stuff like that. And a lot of times they're a little bit hesitant to answer. Jonah Coleman was his name right off the top of his head when asked about that. J.K. Dobbins has obviously been out there proving himself, and that's been reported on time in and time out. And R.J. Harvey has not been left out of the mix. Like Jody said, I think we have 3 solid guys lined up at running back at this point. It's going to be tough to crack into that if you're not one of those 3 names we just mentioned. Patrick, I'm just going to go through this list real quick.
Sure.
I'll even throw one more in. I'm going to throw one offensive one in and a few defensive guys. You get to choose the guy you want to talk about. You got Mr. Evan Ingram, the one offensive guy, Malcolm Roach, Awazerike, Q Robinson, or I'll even throw Tyler Onyedem in there as well. Who would you want to talk about to round out this show? I'll give Jody the next one. I'll play cleanup on this one.
I think I'd probably lean a little bit towards Uwazurike because I mean the issues he had off the field that caused him not to play, and I've seen a couple of different players now going, he's the man. There's nobody right now playing better than him. He's in every play. He's in your face. He's immovable. Somebody did used a wrestling thing. He's the immovable object meeting the all this stuff. It's like, I think that's wonderful. Especially one guy you could kind of blow off as, it's his buddy talking good, and that's great. But I've seen 2 or 3 now that are just saying he's come into his own now. He's finally ready to prove why they brought him in the first place before the issues that took him off the field.
Yeah. Vance Joseph praising him, saying that, he's a completely different guy. He reshaped his body. He's out there. He's playing nose. He's playing 3-eye. He's playing the 4. He's getting after the quarterback while at the same time being that guy that could stop the run like he's done in the past. Good call out talking about Uwazurike in order to kind of round out the show.
Lee Hunter. He's no Lee Hunter, but he'll do well.
Well, yeah, we'll just see how he stacks up, him and Lee Hunter. Thanks, Patrick. Appreciate that.
I had to take it.
Yeah, you had to take that shot, man. I had to take that shot. Don't blame you. Don't blame you. I'll forever be tied to Lee Hunter, at least when it comes to this network. Lee, I'll. Do I need to repeat, or Jody, did you have one picked out that you wanted to talk about, my friend, as we wrap up?
Yeah, I'll add one. That Uwazurike is who I was going to say, but I have another one.
Okay.
Also, at DJ Jones said he is a grown man out there, and he was singing high praises of Uwazurike. So, for me, it's Evan Ingram. They've been featuring him. If you go find guys that reported on Denver was in a 2-minute drill, like 90 seconds left. Knicks led him down the field. Ingram had a big catch over the middle and then caught the touchdown at the end into practice. So they've been featuring him. They've been getting him the balls. This sounds like the drops that we've seen last year have went away. And I'm excited for that. If you go back and watch some stats, they said Ingram was winning off the line of scrimmage and would get open. But Denver ran routes like comebacks and curls and stuff that allowed defensive backs to, get back in position. So if they can get him the ball in space, and we all remember the Washington game where got the ball in space and he ran all the way down the field, almost scored a touchdown in overtime. I expect a big season from Evan Ingram.
Yeah, it was Evan Ingram that was really the highlight in that 2-minute drill that they kind of did. They were doing a situational. Broncos were down by 4 points, only about 2 minutes left. It was the one where Bo Nix just orchestrated an amazing precision drive down the field. It was capped when Evan Ingram caught a touchdown in the back of the end zone as he got behind Jaquan McMillan and basically took it away from Jahdae Barron as he climbed up and took it down, basically winning the day for the offense and solidifying not only how this offense has been playing, but as you pointed out, everything has been shown that this tight end position has really opened up in this new offense. There's been a few key points. We'll end up talking about them in later episodes. The tight end position opening up, the fact that the offense, when it's in a hurry-up type of situation, once again looks fantastic. It's when it's shown its best. And really how this running back situation is going to play into that. I love playing fast, but you also got to be able to balance that with running the ball and being successful doing it. Patrick, you mentioned it a little bit earlier about the success Elway, and most franchises have when they have that balanced offense. We'll need to find that this offseason. If I'm playing wrap up real quick, I'll talk about Tyler. I went back and forth. Q Robinson. Once again, this is a guy that came in early in training camp and started to progress more than what we had seen in last year. I think we were all calling for more Q Robinson. We saw a little bit more at the end. But not only that, you have Vance Joseph, defensive coordinator, coming out. What is he saying? He's saying we need to see more guys more of guys like Q Robinson. We need to get him in the mix. He can't be sitting on the sidelines. He can't be only playing half of a game. We need to get these guys like this more time. He's one of those guys that we want to see more of. He's a talented guy, and we need to have him on the field more. When you're getting that type of praise from your coach, when you're getting that type of praise from Jody Moncrief at the end of last season and all through off season about Q Robinson, and then you see the type of performance that he put out there and the rotation that he should be a part of, I think that will be my wrap up for Stock Up. It'll be on Q Robinson. Q Robinson making, making a name and making a stamp here through 8 days of preseason training camp. Preseason's right around the season.
Yeah,
right
Ben Joseph said he's a future starter in this league. He mentioned that multiple times. So,
yes, and it's good. It's what we want to see. We'll have to see development, and we talked about some of the names that might have to be coming and going in tonight's episode. Man, we all went way too long. I said we're going to keep this close to an hour. We didn't come close. We're going to keep this close to an hour and a half. Just couldn't help ourselves, man. It's been too long for me, so I probably talked way too much. Getting back on the bike, I got the training wheels almost off by the end of the episode, I think. And great to be back, man. I expect to be back and having lots more episodes. Jody and I were already talking a little bit about maybe a Wednesday episode. We'll see what faces will help grace that show as well as we get ready for this preseason game. I just want to say and thank you, Paul, as he's coming in. Saying thank you, Horseman. It's good to see you. When is the first preseason game? I know it's Friday. I don't know the time, Pearl. Maybe I'll make up a nice little graphic that we can
5 p.m.
5 p.m. I'll put something up on Facebook. That'd be kind of cool. I think everyone would enjoy that.
I can watch it work.
Woohoo! Patrick won't be working, but working while watching Broncos football. All right. Just a really quick shout out, though, man. One more time to our amazing sponsor, Morgan Trinkets, Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold at wholesale prices, August 14th through the 17th at the Greeley Dog Show. Go say hello to Pearl. Go root on her and her dog that are in the show. Maybe pick yourself up some goodies from her. She's got amazing deals. Check them out. Patrick, final thoughts. Jody, final thoughts. I'll wrap it up. We'll get it on out of here. Patrick, you first.
It's good to have our surprise guest get his training wheels. I don't know if I shot them out from under you or not, but it's good to have you back in here with things and whatnot, and just thanks for letting me be a part of things, and that's really about it. I mean, I'm good. I'm excited. Football's coming up. It's getting, like Jody and I said earlier, it's getting hot. It means it's football. It's getting to be football time. So.
Ain't that the truth, man? It'll be hot land up here pretty soon, man. Getting ready. Just a few more days of training camp before we get our first preseason game in. That will be fun, man. And again, Jody, we're kind of tentatively planning something for Wednesday, but final thoughts on tonight's show.
Just excited. Football's here. We got a game Friday. Hopefully these little nagging injuries stop and it's not a prelude to what the season will be like. And then I'm just glad that the O is, winning days at training camp. Last year, they weren't. So,
very
the
true.
fact that it's going back and forth that's a promising sign for the growth of this offense. And if this offense doesn't, in my opinion, need to be top 5, but if we're not having to rely on whatever we had 11 comebacks last year in the fourth quarter, this is going to be a scary team, and we should all be excited for that. So,
very good. I agree, man. Back and forth, offense, defense, man. I am stoked about this Denver Broncos team, man. It's like I said, it's been too long. It's almost been like 2 months since I've been on here podcasting about the Denver Broncos, and now I get to come in right in the thick of it. I didn't plan it that way. I didn't leave you guys, all the posse members and my co-hosts in the high and dry season just to come in when everything gets hot and juicy. But we're right in the thick of it, and I can't wait to be back podcasting with Patrick, with Jody, with Trevor, with Kenny, with our good friend Glenn Ashley from Down Under. It's good to be back, and I can't wait for more shows, man. Am I back now, Pearl asks? I'm back at least for the next few weeks. We're going to be packing them in. And even when I leave, I only expect to be gone for a few days. So if I maybe miss an episode, maybe that's the situation there. But try to work around things. Also got a birthday coming around, and my wife wants to steal me away. So got to look out for that. But hey, thanks everybody for being a part of the show. Thanks for the posse members for chiming in and being a part of all this. We appreciate you, man. We try to make this a fan show first. Don't forget, man, we're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on the good old Facebook, which is where a lot of you came in. Well, a lot of you came in over on YouTube as well. We appreciate you all a ton. We have lots of shows coming around. So don't forget, because I'm sorry, I'm messing around in the background here, but don't forget to tune into all our shows. They'll be posted up on Rocky Mountain Sports Network. We have The Juice talks about all 32 football teams. We have a fantasy football show in the works, and of course the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast, more and more, especially as we get all heated up. We do got to get out of here. I'm back. I'm going to do it. We get out of here one way only. Remember, keep those boots in the stirrups, guns in the holsters, and of course, Denver Broncos in your heart. Until next episode, we're going to get out of here. Mile high salute. Good seeing everyone. Good night.